Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2024 as we continue our road to glory run with FARSLEY CELTIC in the Premier League and now in the Champions League. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. Today we're going to go over the end of season review, obviously, of this amazing season, as well as the transfer special. Very important transfer special to try and get us at least some chance to make... we're not going to survive in the Champions League. I just don't see it. But I would love to get back to the Champions League again next year. So we'll see what happens. Let's get into this end of season review. Here we are, end of season review for the 2035-36 season. So only, 12 years into the future? Not too bad. Here is the team as is. Ripa picking up the signing of the season, of course. 5.75 mil for the third best goal scorer in all of the Premier League is pretty good bit of business, if I do say so myself. Ivazian, though, I would obviously have to say takes the cake on that one because he actually made it into the Premier League Team of the Year for this year. So obviously for only 90K, that was an absolute steal. Still, both of those really, really good pickups for us. Safin, I thought was a decent pickup. Knights, I mean, he played okay. He actually 10 goals on 7. Yeah, I actually thought it was okay with the Knights. Probably paid a little bit more money for him than we should have, but I think I'm okay with that pickup. There's obviously Moreno was just here for Manrique. Manrique right here below him. Manrique did all right, 1.6 mil, not too bad for 6.86 overall. Hopefully we get a little bit better play as he continues to improve, and then we can kind of go through the rest of these. Apparently they liked the Ray pickup for 6.75 mil, and then the board didn't even say anything about Davis in here. Transfers out. I'm sure they didn't like some of these. Wamba. They didn't really like the Wamba one. They really hated the Aguirre exit here. He had 7 goals. I mean, I still like the pickup we got. I think our striker is definitely better. So I think we made a good swap there. Some of these I were okay with. So nothing too crazy. And then loans out. Yeah, is what it is. All right, let's get into the season. Obviously, the season to remember. Fourth in the season, we're supposed to attempt to avoid relegation. I think we attempted to avoid relegation quite nicely, considering we qualified for the Champions League. Well ahead of schedule, of course. Well, I mean, obviously, early season, bit rough. Never really fell, too far down, though, thankfully. Just runs of forms here at the end. We had a few losses along the way, of course, but very, very good run of form, all said and done. 71 points, not too bad. FA Cup. Obviously we made it all the way to Aston Villa. Could have beat them because we beat them in the game, either before or after that. I can't remember which one. So now we played them back to back. And so we could have beat them. Absolutely. Would have been nice to beat them. But we made it pretty far and all is well with that. And then in the Carabao Cup, we did get locked out by Tottenham pretty early on, but we played them pretty early on. So take that for what you will. Moments to remember. Obviously, our biggest win was against Norwich here. 7-0 victory. We actually had that one pretty early in the season. Match to remember was against Middlesbrough here with Ripa, Ray, and Motorsport picking up goals in that one. And the goal of the season came from Ray, 92nd minute goal technically, in this 2-1 victory over Sunderland on New Year's Day. So I guess we'll go look at this goal here. There's the first goal. It'll be the next goal. Well, not the next goal, but the goal after that. Oh, Goki. Remember you from our live stream run. Oh, Emery Goki there. All right, here we go. Here's the one from... There's Ray right there. I mean, pretty long distance on that one. Got a little bit lucky off the bounce, off the post, but all right, we'll take it as a goal of the season. Finances, we're still a 3.5-star reputation team at the moment. Sponsors went up a little bit. Broadcast revenue went down slightly. Poor corporate and hospitality went up a little bit. Competition prize money went up a lot, and then matchday commercial retail went up slightly as well. Ray, #1 shirt seller. Okay, very cool. Hamdani, of course. Rodriguez, yeah, okay. Jones, Riker's out for a little while on international leave. Jones picking up that one. Okay, I'm okay with that one. And Rip, of course. Yeah, that all makes sense. Here's how we lined up. Not only 3 players are in the green, but a lot of people playing decently well. But yeah, not too surprised by this lineup. It's actually, well, the only one surprising here would be that Knights is in here instead of Rodriguez. But at the end of the day, I guess that does make some sense. And Aygun, of course, in there as well. Yeah, it was a good team. We did well. I got the manager of the month for October and January. Not half bad. Ripa was the player of the season, as well as the young player of the season, as well as the sizing of the season. Goal of the season came from Ray. Top goal scorer was Ripa. Most assists came from Ivazian. Wow, 9 assists for our left back there. Most player of the match awards with 5 was Ripa. Highest average rating, 7.2 with Ripa. And most passes completed was Safin. Competition awards, Ivazian got Next Gen Award. Yeah, Ivazian. And then English players, young player of the season was Ripa. Yep. Highest transfer fee paid, Knights. 31 mil for Knights. That's fair. If that is our highest transfer fee paid, and I'd forgotten that was that, I wouldn't say he was an outstanding player for 31 minutes, so I think that's a fair judgment, maybe. But, there we go. Manager timeline, future star. Ivazian, all about Ivazian here. And then, job well done for us. What else we got going on? So here's the FARSLEY season, or side of 2029. There's Augusto's out there. Charlie Bellows is playing for Wolfsburg, I should say. So that's pretty impressive for him. Good stuff. McDonald is out there somewhere floating about. Not for anything crazy. Who is ATM? Brazilian. Oh, first division. Okay. Wusu's out there floating about. Chai holders floating about in the Arabian leagues, right? I'm assuming. Yeah, good stuff. Good to see some guys. Brian Okonkwo's out there as well for Cardiff City. What else we got going on? 1.3 million more supporters on the social media. Happy with that. Club vision and expectations meeting. Play attacking football. Make the most set piece. Play entertaining. High tempo. Work within the wage budget. We should be fine with that. Reach the UEFA Champions League proper. Yeah, okay. Become an established Premier Division team. Do you want that by end of next season? Yeah, okay. I think we'll be all right with that. I thought we already accomplished that, actually. Continue being. So that's all they want. So it's all pretty normal. Let's see here. ADC's team meeting. Just become established. Reach the Premier League or the Champions League proper. So I don't know. I mean, maybe this one? Yeah, it seemed like they were okay with that one. I'd like to consider that this one might have just been a fluke, so. I didn't mean to click that, actually. That's nothing else stuck. Seemed like it went okay. But yeah, maybe a little bit of a fluke that we got into 4th place. Maybe not. We'll find out. But all in all, pretty good. Let's see here. Where would you want to go this year? I mean, I've been to Germany. I've been to Austria. Obviously, I've been to the United States. I think the team's been to Scotland. I have been to Netherlands. I've never been anywhere in China or Asia anywhere. I've also never been to South Africa. Let's go to South Africa. Just for something different. All right, cool. I just want to kind of zip a little ahead of there. We'll take a look at some stuff now. Leeds Community Ground. Wait, what? Wait, we built us a brand new stadium, and now we're going to go rent one for 40 because what? Oh, it's not completed yet. Okay. Oh, so they are adding 7,600 more seats. Okay, we're gonna go back to the 22,000 capacity FARSLEY Stadium after the expansion. Okay, I'm getting it now. So we're gonna get spoiled in a 40,000 seat capacity stadium for a little bit before we go back. I mean, 22,000. We're starting to get there. We're starting to get up to a respectable size. Oh, I just hadn't seen the stadium expansion message yet. Got it. We got undersoil heating, all nice. No roof though. Yeah, I'm happy with more expansion here. It's going to cost us some money, but we've got money. Improved youth rating up to category 1. It's another 12 million right there. That's 24 million we just saw go past our faces there. Little crazy. All right, well, I got to do some transfers. I mean, you got to figure. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some stuff moving around for sure, right? Obviously, we need some sort of backup goalkeeper here, although we do have our youngster available to us. I don't know if we want to sit him on the bench. I don't know how we're going to play with that. We'll see how that goes. Left side's looking pretty good. Right side, let's see. Arroyo wouldn't normally play over here. Garb would not normally play over here. Moreno, I mean, we don't care about what he's doing. Suarez could be a player that we could move on if he's not going to become homegrown at the club or anything like that. Because, we'd like to keep cycling through people that have lots of potential. And he looks like he might be hitting his peak at some point. So we might play around with that a little bit. Defensive center backs here. We got this guy, Louis Joseph Boucher here. I don't know how to say his name. I was just being silly. He could be something pretty good. Fitzgerald would probably be more of a defensive midfielder, so we'll move him off that list. Who else would we? We'll move Ivazian, of course, off that list. Suarez can come off that list. So we got 5 at the moment. Saka actually would move off this list as well. So this would be our list right here. And honestly, not bad. 4.5 star potential across the board, up to 5 star potential. I think we can make this setup work. And these guys are all, up in the 70 million range on the top end. So these guys up here are worth a pretty penny. Defensive midfielders. We've got a couple defensive midfielders, apparently. We definitely wouldn't play you up there. Davids would never play back there. Fitzgerald will leave you on that list. Fleet. Lawal would never play there. Ray, yes. Knights, I think we've decided will be up front. Saka would be there. Technically, JJ, of course. Arroyo, no. And Safin, no. Although he's listed as a ball-winning midfielder. What did I play him as last year? I played him as a center back, so yeah. I think we would technically move him off this list. So we're looking at this list here. I mean, Saka is starting to look like a player that is not going to be what we're hoping for. Igoon is starting to look like a player who is not going to be what we're hoping for. So I would say Fitzgerald, if he's looking like he might be all right, he might come into this list. Ray might stick around a little bit longer. Obviously, if any of these guys could be trained at club, we might keep them in this list a bit longer than anticipated. But more than likely, at least Saka and Igoon might be moving on at this point. And we'll kind of go from there. Left wingers. I mean, we've already decided to move on from Fan Shuang. Douglas is gone. Josh, again, unless he's homegrown at the club, might be the type of player to move on. Yaroslav, I think we're okay with. On the right side, we've got a lot of guys on this right side. Wow. Obviously, Douglas is gone. Song Fei is gone. Isela is coming back. He just went out on loan because of although Isela is going to be more of an attacking midfielder in the center, so we're going to move him off this list as well. Ripa would be our striker, more or less. Enrique, of course, stays on the list. Morera. Ray does not stay on this list. Luka Jones does. Yaroslav does not. Igoon does not. And then we've got the new guy. So, looks like Luka Jones, we're starting to outpace him a bit. Especially if you look at his value and everything like that. He's only worth 13 mil. 13 million pound players are not going to be what's going to get us where we need to be long term, right? But definitely Manrique and Silhavi here. I don't know about Morera. Morera might be time to move him on as well. So we might be moving a couple of these guys on here in the nearest future. And then, of course, attacking midfielder in the center. We got a massive list here. Let's get rid of the obvious ones real quick. El Amri does not come in here. Isela will come back, though. Fleet, no. Silhavi, I think we said on the right. Huber would be up front. Luka Jones would be on the right. If he played anywhere, Morera would be on the right. Manrique would be on the right. Ray would be back at defensive midfield. Gemistos would be a striker more than likely. Ripa is, of course, a striker. And that leaves Knights, Isela, and Rodriguez. Okay, that looks like a good list. And again, at this point, Knights could be the type of player that if we can get a little bit of profit back from him by moving him along, make up for that 31 mil that we paid, I wouldn't turn that down by any stretch of the imagination. And last but not least, our strikers, Connor Douglas, no. Wiley, no. I thought we had another player out on loan that we were definitely going to be bringing back, but maybe not. Song Fei, no. Al Amri, no. Morera, not on this spot. Manrique, not in this spot. Davidson, time to move him on. So it really comes down to, I mean, Ripa, we got to keep Ripa long term, right? Because he just looks really good. Gemistos, he's got good finishing. Doesn't have the pace, though. I mean, based on this list, normally what I would do is I would be playing like Huber or Jim Stills ahead of Ripa, but Ripa he played good last season. I don't think we can swap off of him right now. Davidson definitely moves off this list. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I'll be moving a few guys off. Some of these guys that we're moving off aren't worth a lot of money, but if we can move a few of these guys off, get a few more kind of good young players in. I mean, come on, let's just go get, 10 more Avesians to cover all of our starting spots. 95K a piece, bargains. We will see what we can do here, guys. But I will go do some work, and I will bring you guys back when we're done. All right, we are back. Transfers have been done, or mostly done. We still actually have quite a bit of money left over if we wanted to do some more stuff. I haven't really found anybody that just jumps out at me and says, like, I really, really want. But it's possible. We'll play around with it. As you can see, we didn't play anybody tough during the friendlies, but I mean, we won all the games, so yay us. But let's go look at the transfers we did and kind of get a handle on things. I mean, as you can see here, since July, we've only done 2, so that tells you a little bit of something. But let's back up a little bit, because obviously we did bring some in at the end of last season that would have counted there. As for people leaving, let me go ahead and just move my face over a little bit. As for people leaving, we did lose Freddie Davidson, who came in. He didn't really do much for us. Honestly, we brought him in kind of as a gamble. 3.6 mil. He played 3 games. Didn't play well during those 3 games, and we sold him on for 4.9. Okay, so we're getting a little tiny bit. Once you take into his salary, he probably broke even or pretty close to it. There's a couple other guys in here that went on a loan. We'll talk about those in a minute. Luka Jones left. It's not that he played poorly for us last season. 17 appearances, 3 goals, 8 assists. Honestly, a lot of assists. He played well for us. He really did. But he was never going to be homegrown at club. And I just wanted to bring in other players that I felt like had more potential, quite frankly. Just so we can continue to get better and better and better. So we did get a little bit of a profit for him. Honestly, about a 10x profit on him, which is good because there were some players that we did take a loss on. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Finally, I think the only other one we saw was Soprapto here. Actually, I think he came through our... Yeah, he came through our... oh, I'm sorry. No, we got him for free from Arsenal. He never played for us. He was just a guy that existed. So, didn't think he was really going to turn into anything. We got a little bit of money for him. Yay, us. All right. So, that's the guys that went out up to that point. As you can see, we brought in 184 mil, transferred out 60 mil. So, we have paid a lot of money for players. I mean, most of those were earlier, last season. But we'll get into the ones that we brought in this season here. So first up, we did show you guys, I think I showed you guys these 3 at the earlier at the end of last season. Fitzgerald, I mean, he's not going to be an amazing player, but he exists. Maybe we sell him on someday. Who knows? These guys, sometimes we just take gambles on these guys because we get them for free. And if they don't turn into anything, no harm, no foul, really. So Boucher there did not turn into anything. Still heavy. None of these guys really look like they're going to be that amazing at the end of the day, but they become homegrown at club and end up being solid 3-star players as well. They're the kind of players that you pay a little bit of money to sit on the bench and know that you can get registration for them. So, definitely some possibilities there. First up, real player coming in here, though, is Chawunga here. 1.5 current ability, 5-star potential. Looks decent on the physicals. His crossing's 11, so that's not amazing, but he's still young. Usually the physicals is where you get around 18, and then into your 20s is when you start seeing the mentals and the technicals start to develop a little bit more. So he looks like he could be a good prospect on that attacking midfielder on that left-hand side, which is where we're going to be playing him. In fact, he's going to be my starting option for right now, just because he has more potential than Yaroslav. We're going to give him the nod, see what he can do. He's only 5'3". My goodness, he's short. But of course, Yaroslav's there to jump in as needed. He's already got 4 caps. Sorry, the yards. Goodness. I mean, it is like 3 o'clock in the morning because I've been doing this all night. He does have 4 caps for Zimbabwe, which is good to see. And he obviously not very expensive. Under 10 mil, very, very cheap. Next up is Matthew Lacombe here. Comes in from Canada. Not very many Canadian players that I see floating about. Terrible physicals, I'm going to be honest. I'm not impressed by his physicals. But he's got good mentals, and he's got actually some pretty good technicals. Good technique, good finishing, good first touch. His dribbling is okay. Passing's okay. I mean, this is one of those rare flip-flopped players where his technicals and mentals look like they are actually set up for good success, and it's his physicals that are struggling. So I don't know if that's actually going to end up being a winning solution for us, but for a player that we only paid $6 million for, he's already valued, and I use those quotes very loosely because, you know, how much do you take a trust of those values? He's already valued at 60 or 50 mil, I should say. I doubt he's actually ever going to be that, but we'll see. He did go back on loan out to his parent club just because he wanted to, and I figured why not. Next up, Pavel Hovek comes in here from Sparta Prague, 7.25 mil. Again, all of these are under 10 mil, which is pretty good. He comes in here as a backup for Friday, but possibly as good as, and potentially better than Friday, who we already know is one of our best players. In fact, our two best players on our team, according to this the season preview, are Friday and Holek. They both play on the same side of the field, which is kind of crazy. I could technically move him over to the left-hand side of the field if I really just wanted to make sure we took advantage of him. But honestly, my defenders are going to get lots of rotation. So I think both of our guys are going to get plenty of time. And then we might just have to pick our favorite someday and sell the other one. We'll see. Guys, sorry for the yawns. They're all over the place today. But good physicals, decent mentals, decent technicals. And of course, he's only 19 years old, so he's going to get a little bit better as time goes on. Can he be homegrown? He cannot be homegrown. Good to know. All right, so that's him. Again, under 10 mil, not bad. Next up, we got a guy for under a mil. Mr. Marian Kalman here from Slovan Bratislava. He comes in here as a 2.5-star current ability, could be as high as 5-star player. He's primarily going to be playing a attacking midfielder on that right-hand side for us. Pretty solid physicals. Maybe, so the jumping reach is not good for somebody who's 6 foot tall. Good pace, good acceleration, good agility, good balance. All of that looks good. And like I said, he's going to have some potential to be really, really good for us someday. He went ahead and went back on loan to his parent club as well, which could mean that we never get him homegrown at club, but honestly, we didn't really have a slot for him, and if his parent club wants him and he wanted to be there, we'll let him stay happy. He'll be a guy for the future for us. Next up, Christensen from Brondby IF. I actually don't know where that is. Basically around 10 mil, just a little bit over, just a hair over 10 mil. He comes in here also as an attacking midfielder on that right-hand side. Probably going to come in as our starter attacking midfielder on that right-hand side. 3.5-star current ability, could be as high as 5-star, so he's already looking better than Manrique. Not sure why I'm hearing noises behind me. I think my laptop might be have its my work laptop might have its speakers turned on. So I don't know if you guys can hear, but I can hear something ringing back there. Anyway, he's Danish, obviously, so it looks good there. Should be a pretty solid player. Again, a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones, but still very, very cheap overall. Next up, Noah Adal here comes in here from Wolfsberger AC, which is Austria. Yes, it is Austria. Good, solid defensive midfielder, 2-star current ability, could be as high as 5-star. Potential, physicals, not too bad. Mentals, work rate's good. Bravery is good. I like to see that. Determination, teamwork, determination, positioning look good. Tackling looks good. So he could be a guy that develops into something pretty amazing someday. Fairly determined personality. He also went back on loan to his parent club. Again, a lot of these went back on loan to their parent clubs just because we don't need him right now, and we could definitely see them come in the future and be something good. Next up, into this half of the season, as you can see, lots of players went on loan. A lot of these players were youngsters and stuff like that, so I wouldn't worry too much about them. But we'll spot on some of the key players that we've sold. Aigun went out for 5.25 mil. I think we took a little bit of a loss on that one. Not much. Almost broke even on that one, so not too worried about that. But he was starting to reach his potential, and we just need better players overall. Josh went out for a value up to 10.25. I believe that is a tiny loss, but again, we used him, so it's not that bad. Pretty close. But he went out to Eintracht Frankfurt. Suarez here, 13.5. Definitely got a good gain on him, which is awesome to see. Now, he played well for us last season. Not unhappy with that. But how can you keep a Suarez when you have your two best players are right backs, right? So I think that was a good swap around. Moreira obviously played on that attacking midfielder on the right-hand side. You already saw we've got several options over there on the attacking midfielder on the right-hand side. We took a pretty big loss on him, unfortunately, about half of the price, half the value. But he didn't really play amazingly well the last couple of seasons, to be perfectly honest. So it is what it is. We're going to take losses here and there. We're going to take gains here and there. At the end of the day, I think we actually still ended up better off But every once in a while, we're going to take a loss, unfortunately. Connor Douglas went out for just under $1 million. Got him for free. So pure profit there, I suppose. Again, a bunch of loans out. Videgalis back out on loan. He went out to QPR now. Last year, he was at Sky Bet League One. This year, he's back at a Sky Bet Championship. He's still potentially the goalkeeper for our future. He looks like he's going to be potentially better than any other option we have. Al Amory left, 2.9 mil. So we took a bit of a loss there. But again, he played for us for a while. He played okay that first season, even if he only played 11 games. And we just thought he was going to be amazing. And then he just never, when he came back from his injury, he was never the same. The next season, as you can see, 28 total appearances, only 2 goals. Never really pulled out, did what we need him to do. So took a loss there, but honestly, it's fine. Song Fei, 10.25, went out to West Brom. Again, a tiny bit of a loss there. Nothing too crazy, though. And honestly, at the end of the day, it was fine. And the last big one, I think, here. I'm sorry, there's 2 more. Chuang here. Van Chuang. Obviously, we didn't play him last year. We actually got a little bit of a gain for him, which is awesome to see. He played well in the championship last year. I wish he'd played that well for us in the Premier League, but he never did. He went out to AS Roma. And finally, Saka. Saka looked like he was going to be good. And then once we actually got him on for a full season, he was just never going to be what we wanted him to be. Not that he played poorly last season. He did all right. 10 appearances, 6.83. Close to breaking even. So I'm not too worried about that as well. 2 names we brought in. As you can see, again, still very small fees that we've been paying lately. First up, Nelson Lara comes in here as a goalkeeping option. In fact, a goalkeeping option that is currently better than Hamdani if you go based off star ratings. And I'm not just going based off star ratings. If you go look at the stats and everything else that he's got going on, he does look like he should be better than Hamdani. He's an instinctive goalkeeper. If he doesn't end up being better, we'll bring Hamdani in. But effectively, Hamdani is our backup because our other guy, Videglia, whatever his name is out on loan for our future someday. And Hogg, I don't think he's ever going to get there. So Lara comes in because we needed a backup, and we just basically made Hamdani our backup. He's probably not going to be happy about it, but Lara does look like the better option. And then finally, we brought in Zakua just most recently. In fact, we brought him in about a week ago, or a little bit over a week ago. Another attacking midfielder on the right-hand side. Biggest reason I brought him in, it was just a good price. 6.75 mil. He could be a flop, but honestly, if I've got him, I've got a couple other attacking midfielders on the right-hand side. If one of them's a flop, the other one might be good. Or if a couple of, it's fine. We bring in players for cheap. They turn out good. They turn out good. If they turn out bad, we don't take much of a loss on them, quite frankly. But he looks like he could be pretty decent. So 2-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's still not quite as good as Christensen right now, but that doesn't mean he couldn't get there. So good to see. And physicals, technical, seems he's got good first touch, good technique, but he could develop. He's only 18 years old, so we'll see what he develops into. And again, really didn't cost us much, and he went back out on loan to his parent club as well, or his original club, I should say. That is all of that. So as you can see, we have actually transferred out more than we transferred in. So if we compare the 2 seasons together, 120 mil more there, 50 mil more back the other way. So we're about at 70 mil over the 2 seasons that we've spent more than brought in. Although if you go back a couple more seasons, we have been bringing in, pretty decent amounts of money here and there. We got a little bit more money. Overall, we got more money spent than brought in. But that's okay, because we're in the Premier League and we make lots of money. So, in fact, if you look at our finances, we're still positive. We still got some money in the transfer budget. We still got money in the wage budget. If we want to spend it, we shall find out. That is all of that. Okay, let's go look at our squad planner. Sorry, that's what I was like. I was like, what am I going to do next? So here's how we've got it laid out. Lara going to be starting as the goalkeeper. Hamdani right behind him. On the left-hand side, I've actually moved some things around. I'm going to have Lawal starting over there because we've got O'Brien, youngster O'Brien, 16-year-old attacking fullback. Looks like he's got so much potential. Would love to get him into the squad, get him some rotation, see what he can do. And Friday, of course, and Holek are on the right-hand side. I told you they're going to be competing. It's a very good chance Holek could pass up Friday at some point. We'll see. They both look really, really good. Someday we're going to have to pick our favorite and move the other one on, most likely, but we will see what they can do. And we've actually moved Ivazian into the central defender role because I just I wanted to bring these guys around, and we had a spot in the central defender roles. We just had an opening spot. Instead of going to recruit somebody, I was like, you know what? He's a wonder kid. Wonder kids are usually pretty flexible, and they know how to play all over the place. A lot of times, you see a lot of wonder kids that are very flexible like that. Let's try him out in the center back row, see what he can do. Of course, Arroyo and Garba are still there as well. Defensive midfield, We've got JJ Ray. We're actually going to move Knights back from attacking midfield back to the defensive midfield. Again, mostly because we had a spot available and I didn't want to go recruit somebody else. And we had extra attacking midfielders. And so felt like a good move to pull him back here. Basically, he's either going to be a backup to attacking midfielder, or he's currently our first backup for defensive midfield. We did renew Montes' contract. And the biggest reason we renewed his contract is because he is trained at the club. He's going to be very cheap to pay for. And honestly, he plays above his 2-star rating as far as I'm concerned. I think he plays pretty well, and I think he's going to do okay for us. Attacking midfielder on the left-hand side, again, Chunga is probably going to be our primary just because he's got the most potential. Yaroslav right behind. These guys will both get plenty of game time. I'm not worried about it. Same thing on the right-hand side, Christensen and Marike. Christensen's looking like he could be ultimately someday the little bit better option, but Marike will be there and be still getting plenty of game time as well. And in the attacking midfield, Rodriguez is going to be our primary, but right behind him, Helmut Izella, who was out on loan last season. We brought him back. He doesn't look like he quite has the potential that we were hoping for, but he's still going to be a good grab for this season, and he's there. And then finally, in our striker rows, we have 3 options here, and actually, I do need to move something around. I think I'm going to put Gemistos ahead of Huber. Huber, we're definitely going to keep around for quite some time because he's going to be homegrown at the club someday. But Ripa is going to be our primary for now. I usually go based on potential, but Ripa's looking like he's playing above his star rating. And Gemistos, he looks like he could be a good player with a good finishing, decent pace. I think he's just got a little bit of a leg up overall from statistics than Huber. That doesn't mean Huber's not going to get game time. He's here. We're definitely going to get him game time where we can. But I think this is our 3-striker lineup right here. And that is that. I mean, the first game up is against Wolves, followed by Southampton. We'll see. I have actually no idea how good this team is going to be, or how bad, or whatever in between. But yeah, it's looking like it's. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you though. I don't know that I ever really got any players off of the transfer lineup that I was just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I got that player. I'm so happy now. I got a lot of players that could be really good, and if they are, then I'm going to be ecstatic about that because we got them for a very cheap amount, right? But I just never really saw anybody that, I mean, they didn't cost like $100 million already that because they were already at some big squad. I just never really saw anybody that just jumped out at me and was like, okay, I have to have this player. So we'll see. Hopefully some of those guys, again, there's some guys that look good. Hopefully they develop. Honestly, the best player we had, and probably the reason why I'm not as excited, is Holek here. Holek looks amazing, but he's sitting right behind Friday. Or if he's above Friday, then Friday's sitting. I mean, the fact that we have these two, now I could move Holek over to the left-hand side and start training him on that side if I really wanted to. And maybe that is ultimately the right option. I don't know. But that's the one disappointing thing is that the best player we got in this round probably is sitting on the bench because the guy in front of him is already extremely good as well. But now I'm trying to go through these and see if there's anybody that just jumps out at me. Chimunga, again, could be something amazing. We'll see. I'm not super impressed by him. Christensen, I'm probably more impressed with, actually, to be fair. He's got some really, decent physicals, acceleration, agility. Pace is not bad. He looks like he could be something halfway decent. He's only 5'8", though, to be fair. And then other than that, that's it, really, honestly. Not really a whole lot of... There's actually probably the guys I'm most excited about are the guys that I'll send out on loan. We've got several guys that are out on loan right now that we'll get back next year, and they look like they could be good. We'll give them another chance to kind of continue to develop out there on their other clubs, and we'll kind of go from there. But that's going to be it for today. We're going to go ahead and put a cut in there. When we come back, we'll be playing those first 2 games of our next season and hope that we can survive in the Champions League at least a little bit, or at least not get completely embarrassed. Will we make it back to the Champions League? I have my doubts. I think last year was a bit of a fluke, but I'm hoping at the very least, what I'm hoping for is just be back in the top 7. Just get back into the European slot somewhere. Maybe not necessarily Champions League, but somewhere in the European slots, and I would be very happy with that. Currently, our season preview has us 14th. Considering we got 4th place when our season preview had us 20th, 14th basically means we're going to win the league, right? I think that's how that works. Obviously, I'm kidding a bit, but definitely it's good to see that the season preview has us as an established team overall. And like I said, our 2 best players according to this list are Holek and Friday, who again play on the same side of the field. So that's where we're at. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good season. We'll find out very quickly. But I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye. I wanted to give a special shout out to the following channel members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.